this not the most fitting filter for this event?
What?
Most fitting filter.
Did you get a restraining order against Cal Chapman?
They only granted a temporary one for 5 months until after his hearing.
So he can't come here.
Well, he can come here, but then he has to go to jail immediately after. So.
Kim, have you been following people with knives lately?
I've never done that.
No, that's a lie? Oh.
It's a lie.
Why would they say that?
Because they're liars.
Oh, never happened.
No.
You never, Huntington Beach, you never chased nobody with a knife?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to sue for defamation?
Is it easy to do?
I don't know.
Should I sue you?
Bro, go ahead, sue me.
You're accusing me of something.
No, I'm asking you. They're out there. Don't you want to, like, you know, have like 23,000 subscribers so people hear your side? You only hear one side, but some hear other side. You know.
I understand it's hard to do now.
Right.
It's not an easy thing to do.
More interesting. Now, are any of your fans like Chicanos in the Aslan movement?
Any of my friends, Chicanos in the Aslan movement.
Yeah.
I don't have like I might know people that are Chicanos in the Aslan movement, quote unquote, but I personally don't organize.
Do you identify with them at all?
Do I identify with? I don't identify.
Like I talked to one the other day. It was really interesting.
No,
because he has kind of like fashy tendencies, right? Which is cool. And what he like basically wants, what he's saying that his section wants is basically to take over Southern California. And he does. I mean, they're part Spanish and they're part Native American, and the Spanish were here first, and the Native Americans were here first. So I can see their claim to the land. I can see what the argument they're making is. How do you feel about this whole La Raza thing? And them wanting an ethno-state for Chicanos?
Two things. First of all, I don't identify with La Raza because the whole Raza movement was coined by a white supremacist that believed that if it wasn't for Europeans, with this cosmic race wouldn't be developed. It's called the Raza Cosmica, the Raza. Okay?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well you can look it up.
We're getting educated.
Okay,
No, I'm not discrediting
look up where the Raza comes. The Raza, where the word Raza comes, it comes from the Raza Cosmica. I have never called myself Raza. I have never said Viva la Raza. I have never said Viva la Conquista. So I'm gonna get to your point.
I'm not trying to trap
I know you're not. I'm just getting to where I'm letting you know. So I'm getting to what you're saying. So we, as indigenous people, we are against those artificial borders. So we want to identify as indigenous people, not as half Spaniards and half Europeans and half indigenous people. We identify with indigenous people. We want the whole continent back with no borders on our land.
Okay. And do you want it for like the indigenous people, or do you want it for everybody?
Well, we are the original people of this habitat, so if people want to stay here, they're welcome too, as long as they obey indigenous law, indigenous sovereignty, and that's basically what we're saying. It's not going to happen now. It can happen thousands of years now. But
so
again, just how the white supremacists say they want white homeland. Yes, go ahead. Go have it back in Europe. That's where your ancestors come from. Don't claim New Zealand is your homeland. Don't claim Hawaii is your homeland. Don't claim the United States.
Sure.
Your homeland is in Europe. So you can go back to Europe. And
you support European ethno-states then?
No, I'm saying if the Europeans, if the white supremacists want a homeland, then they should go back to Europe. That's their homeland.
They deserve a homeland in Europe.
If that's what they want, they can organize
so you
over
don't
there.
object to them kicking out Muslims from Europe?
Okay,
that's fair.
No,
that's
yeah.
Point.
Before they kick out the Muslims, they have to pay back everything they stole from the Middle East.
The Middle East had a slave trade from Africa for like thousands of years.
That's what I think the Africans is gonna have.
So
to
I think they're even.
So I think no. You cannot. This is that you're talking about the blacks. You're talking about the Arabs and say blacks. That what you're talking about? That's something that the black people are gonna have to negotiate with the Arabs.
What did the Arabs? As far as like medieval history concerning like Muslims and Europe's like did much more damage. If you look at a map of like Islamic invasions of European homelands, and then the Crusades, the Islam has done much more damage to Europe.
And that is disagree, and that is false. That is false, because of course these institutions you call them liberal, but they're still not going to tell the truth about white colonization. You can laugh all you want, just on this continent from north.
When did Europe have the power to colonize like the Middle Eastern world? Back then, I mean, they were like that's why algebra and all
you're
of
making
this, like,
comparisons between Islam and Europeans. The Europeans have done way worse compared to Muslim. They dominated the whole world, the British Empire, the Spanish Empire. So you can't compare the two. There was mass genocide that was committed. You can laugh all you want. It's all documented.
Should the descendants of the Aztecs have to pay tribute to the descendants of the Maya for their, like, because they were like the Third Reich, right, of the indigenous world?
No, you can't compare the Third Reich. I mean, first of all,
let me
we did not commit genocide. We did not force languages.
You did. There's
we didn't.
proof that you guys killed people. But let me just make my point,
That's
right?
a lie, first of all.
The reason that Hernán Cortés, he landed in the New World and he burned his ships. And if he was not able to convince these other tribes to help him take down the Aztecs, he wouldn't have been able to. And the reason these tribes did was because of how oppressive and brutal the Aztecs were. I mean, they weren't sacrificing their own people, they were sacrificing the Maya and all these other people.
Red
so
pill.
I mean,
That's a red.
Not really.
I'm
not
not
really.
saying
I mean,
Europeans are
that's what you always hear. The same. The same story. The same story. The same Eurocentric bull we hear at the schools.
But what is your response?
I'm getting to it, sir. And first of all, you put it in. Okay. First of all, the Europeans. Europeans have always fought each other. The Celtics, the Aryans. Okay, let me finish. Let me finish. That's the same way the Roman Empire fell, or the Greek Empire fell. Same thing.
Let's just assume.
Hey, let me finish. Let me finish.
Violence is part of human nature,
Okay,
right? Of every race.
Rush Limbaugh. Let me finish, and after that I can talk to you. Okay, and you know what? So yes, there was enemies that allied themselves with the Spaniards, but what these allies didn't know that they were going to get backstabbed by the Spanish. They thought it was going to be okay. You're going to help us out, then I'll give and take. No, but as soon as
Are you
Spanish
saying that they're
came,
that naive?
huh?
I mean, any modern power understands that it's a puppet state when it allies itself with a much greater
So
power.
as soon as they came, they backstabbed the Tlaxcalans, they backed any allies that they had.
Maybe they thought it was worth it though.
Okay.
To get out from under the Aztecs who were cutting heads off and doing
No, they didn't
sacrifices.
think that the
tens of
Spaniards were going to
thousands.
be that evil. That
Not as bad as the Aztecs. Human sacrifice is pretty bad,
people's
man.
hands
Human sacrifice is horrible.
It almost doesn't matter. I was born in Poland. We aligned with the people who, during World War II, we have aligned ultimately with the Russians, who attacked us 2 weeks after Hitler attacked us from the west. Russian attacked us, invaded us from the east. Yes? Ultimately, we aligned with them. She's Ukrainian. Ultimately, we aligned with the Russians to topple
You can only wish the
Germans,
Germans
yes?
and the Britons were like you guys.
Ultimately, you want to survive, so you
I saw a video
make
about Poland the other day.
You do make alliances to prevail.
No, he's Polish. He's Ukrainian.
To
But
prevail.
Ukrainian is also very
Right?
nationalist. They're also.
But since
they're
you're
doing the whole,
injecting
like,
race
no Islam thing
into
too,
it,
right?
No,
You're not?
They do the whole like
Okay.
no Islam thing too.
Well,
Because I
okay,
don't-
I'm talking as an indigenous people. If you want to say race, I'm talking about the original people. Just like,
But who is indigenous?
Okay,
Are you talking
why,
indigenous
why
to-
why do the Polish want to kick out the Muslims or not allow Muslims in
Hold on. You're talking indigenous
to this
here?
land?
Where-
Okay.
Nobody
Why?
is
How
indigenous.
come the Polish don't want the Muslims going in?
Did you know that the so-called indigenous people in North America, they actually traveled through the Kamchatka?
And where did the Polish come from?
Hold on. They
And
traveled.
we heard the same stories.
They traveled to Kamchatka, so we could argue they were Asians. Yes.
And what were you?
People
You were
migrate.
Asians too? Are Europeans
People
Asians? You guys come from the Caucasus Mountains?
Okay. What is your question? I'll answer your question.
I don't know what your point is. I don't know. You're the one that interfered.
I don't understand.
You're talking indigenous people
I
like
had
they
just,
were
I had just
truly
asked you.
indigenous. They weren't.
You're right. Like conquest and smaller powers uniting with bigger powers, and then being subjected to some tyranny from the bigger powers. You're right. That is history. That's all. That's my whole point. I never said that Europeans are perfect, but it seems to me that your side tends to pretend that the indigenous, when they only had each other to deal with, acted any differently than European
Okay,
powers.
first of all, we're not.
So this is just the progress of history.
First of all, we're warriors, and we had we fought against each other just the way the same way in Europe. Just the way, it's a world thing.
We agree on that.
But again, we are not the foreigners here. European are the foreigners here. European, the white people are here.
Wait, based on,
You guys came here
based on what?
based on what?
So if you guys
Based on what?
get this line, the ticket line, as single file and organized.
Okay, let's take tickets. Based on what though?
Based on that Europeans come from Europe.
But so do them. I mean, the indigenous people came from Siberia.
And what did I mean, everybody has a root from somewhere. Who are we
Exactly.
here?
So the whole thing about people coming to different
if
times
I check
is
my
arbitrary.
my DNA is not going to say, oh, you're from China. You can say I'm from here. If you check your DNA, what's it going to say?
Question. Like, people have been conquering lands since the beginning of time.
My question is that if you don't
Get it back. You want your land back, get it back.
Exactly.
It's on the
That's what we're doing.
table.
That's what we're doing. You're European.
Okay.
You want to live in a Western civilization?
Europe.
Go
I'm
back
living
to
in the land.
Europe.
I'm living in the
You
land
want to
that-
live in a Western
I'm living in the
civilization?
land that I own.
Do you
I'm
want to?
living in the land that I own. I don't want to hear this shit.
Do you
I
want
don't
to?
hear your
Hey, well,
shit.
don't listen. Don't listen. Turn around. Go in the back of the line.
Were you born
Go
in
back
this
to the line.
land? Were you born in
Yes,
this
I was. This is indigenous
Don't
land.
take your land back. Your land's here.
We are.
Take it
We
back.
are little by little. We are.
Yeah, no,
We
you're
are.
not. No, you're
We are.
not. How
We
much
are little by
property do
little.
you own?
We
How
are,
much
but
property do you own?
hey,
I own property.
Yeah,
How much
and
property
your
do you own?
stolen property.
do you own?
Stolen property. Where do you live at? Where do you live
Paid for it,
at?
buddy.
Where do you live at?
Santa Ana, big dog.
Exactly.
Santa Ana.
Ahachim and Tonva land. You never paid to them. You never paid money to them. You are a
Okay.
foreigner. You are an illegal. Go
wants his
back to
shekels.
Europe.
Go to your
Go
house,
back to
buddy.
Europe.
Come to my
Go
house.
back to
Go
Europe.
back.
Say, give me my shekels.
Go back to Europe.
Say, give me my shekels,
Let's have a
Naui.
regular discourse.
I am,
Let's
I
have a
am,
regular
I am.
discourse.
Yeah,
Let's
shout
have-
it.
let's
But
have-
the West, but these guys right here, like they talk about Western civilization, the Proud Boys.
Comedy.
And look at this guy right here. He's not white. He's not
Comedy.
white.
Don't engage.
David Rosas is not white.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, you can go back to
Let me
Europe.
ask you, if you are so
Jewish, please tell me that. My people
that a
are way
Latino
more
born somebody
oppressed than
else?
I'm not Latino. I'm Mexican.
Oh.
Get it to your head.
Let me ask you this: Do you like the United States of America?
I love indigenous land. I love my
That's not my
ancestors'
question.
land.
Do you like?
I love
Do you like the
indigenous
United
people.
States of America?
I love.
Wait, no,
I
the-
love,
the whole- the-
love
the general
indigenous
core
people.
of
We
the
call it a
problem has
Nahuatl.
been answered.
The United States is a foreign nation on our country. They're foreign.
And so what are you?
You can
doing?
laugh
So
what you
what are
want.
you doing in this? What are you doing in this?
This is our
country?
land. Get it to your head. What?
This is your
Okay,
land.
let me ask you something. Are you against Muslims going into Poland?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Okay, same way that we are against you foreigners coming in our land.
How so?
So
Because
you guys want an ethno state.
Okay.
That's fine.
This is-
That's fine. I agree with that
No,
premise.
no,
if
no.
that's what you're
We're
saying.
saying that if you want to stay here, fine, but you have to respect indigenous land. Just like if you guys want Muslims to respect the European land,
Muslims are very proud of their culture, right?
So
They're
are
very
we,
proud of
everybody
their
else.
but
Polish
hold on,
people are
but
very
hold on.
proud of their
If they're
culture.
so proud of their culture and they hate so much Western civilization, why are they leaving their proud culture and going into civilization that they hate? It makes no sense. I grew up under communism. I hated every minute of it, yes? I left that shit behind and came here to enjoy freedom, right?
okay,
Right?
same thing. I'm gonna ask
Does
you.
that make sense?
If you're so proud of being a Western, why don't you go back to Europe?
The what?
You're a part of Western civilization, right?
He's American citizen. Why
You're
should
part
he
of
go
Western
back?
civilization, right?
Yes.
This is
Then why
Western
don't you go back to
civilization.
Europe?
This is Western
Because you guys
civilization.
invaded and you guys stole. That's why it's Western civilization. It wasn't Western civilization.
First of all,
before 1492.
I think we fought a war, yes? And you lost that war.
Oh, okay.
And you agreed to sell this
Okay,
land.
so-
you were paid
That's a lie.
fairly.
That's
You were
a lie.
paid
That's a
fairly.
lie.
Yes?
That's
You were
a lie.
paid fairly.
That's a lie.
Now he wants to be an Indian giver.
Look, it's all about dollars, yes? Those people hate white people, but they love the American dollars.
hustling.
That's all it is.
He's
That's all it is.
hustling.
I'm not
That's all
hustling.
it
He's
is.
a hustler.
They look. How many millions escape Mexico? Escape the poverty
do you
and
think
the
your descendants-
violence and the lawlessness of Mexico.
Ancestors-
And the lawlessness of
See,
Mexico.
but
Let me just make,
Absolute lawlessness.
would you have to even be dealing with any of this if your ancestor had just built a wall and the ability to defend that border? Don't you think
we
that would
didn't
be
know
very-
that people were so evil like the Europeans.
But you were
Like,
fighting
this is
each
the-
other. You
they
were doing the same
this is
thing.
the- no, we were
Are
not
you saying
committing
that Europeans
genocide.
are uniquely
We were
evil?
not. We were not
Smart.
genocide. They were
Or
genocide.
are you Europeans
What they did
uniquely
was evil. Evil. What they did compared to anybody in the world, any culture in the world. The Europeans have been the farthest, most
Have you heard of the
genocidal
rape of
madmen in
Nanking?
the world.
So
Okay?
Have you
you're
seen-
a racist, basically.
No, I'm not
Yes.
racist.
You
It's-
are.
It's
You
fact.
are a racist.
It's
He's not a
fact.
racist. It's just that white people are evil.
fact.
You're a racist
man.
prick.
No.
I would never
No,
say
see-
that all Latino people are
See,
this and this and that.
That's how
Yes?
again.
It's people like
you're
you.
so racist. You know why you're racist?
Our
You're so
racist
ignorant. You're ignorant.
Really?
You know why?
How so?
First of all,
you're the one calling a whole group of people,
Okay.
white people, racist.
No.
Yes?
Okay, why
Yes.
don't you want Muslims to go in? Again, same thing. Why don't you want
Because of
Muslims?
Muslim is not a religion. It's not a. It's a cult. A very violent cult. Yes, a very violent cult of conquering.
And Christians aren't?
Of
Christians
conquering. No, we're not.
Christians
my
had the
God.
Reformation.
Tell me, have you ever compared Jesus
they-
Christ and Muhammad?
They invaded.
Have you ever compared-
They invaded. Christians invaded. They stole. They raped. They slight women, pregnant women.
So you're not a
They
Christian.
alive.
You're
No,
not a Christian.
I'm not a Christian.
What
I'm
are
not a
you?
Christian.
An atheist.
I'm not an atheist either.
What are
but
you?
First,
Well, either you're a Christian.
I'm not a Christian.
Do you
that's
believe in God?
That's the other side.
Do you believe in God?
I don't have to believe in God.
Well, I'm asking
the
you if you
Creator.
do believe in God.
We acknowledge the Creator. First of all, I'm not Latino. Latino is a European, Southern European.
Oh.
Second of all, this is indigenous land. If you don't like it, go back to Europe. Why did you come here from Europe?
Wow.
Why did you come from Europe? Why?
Listen,
Why did you
you're a
come from Europe?
racist.
You are a racist
You're a
prick
racist prick.
because you don't know history. You don't even know your own history. You don't even know your own European history.
Listen.
All right?
The so-called native people are nowhere near to be native to this land. No, yes we are.
This is the wasteland. If you have tickets, this is this way.
Wait, which way?
We will never forget this is our land.
It's your land.
And you're Polish. Your land is Poland. That's your
Yes,
land.
it is.
Well, I've been
Welcome to
talking,
go back.
look, I
Yeah.
actually am really interested in talking to people like Louis Farrakhan, because these people aren't like me. I probably bet these people aren't like me. I'm clearly all right. And so I've been very interested, and I think more people on your side should look into these people who do want it, because the reality is you're probably some degree mixed, like I am, right? And they're fighting to take back California as like no worries, as like an ethno state for Chicanos, and some black people want to get this area in like the South for themselves, and they have a claim to it too, Louis Farrakhan. And so if we could have this talk about, like, you know, some places could be in.
Be a little more organized, because the people are coming in, they don't know what's aligned and what isn't.
Some people could be integrated. There could be an integrated nation, right? Where people like you who want to live with other people could live, right? Perhaps on your land, whatever you claim for your land. And then maybe black people could have their own land if they want it, or the black people that don't want to be integrated. And then the white people that want to be integrated can live where you're saying in your laws and all that stuff. But why do we have to have this conversation in the context of me being a supremacist, or me wanting to hurt people, or me hating any of these people? Why can't we just
okay.
have a peaceful conversation where we discuss the
okay.
development of these states?
Okay, because
You want to go?
you owe, as when you start your conversation, you never talk about who was here. You always call us, like, I see what you're saying about, you call us savages. You call us that. You put us down, our culture down, which is the opposite of what you say.
You want me to say good things about your culture? There are really good things about indigenous culture. I'm not
so
saying that.
again, we were not perfect. We had the good, the bad, ugly. Just like any other culture.
And that's exactly what happens, right? Like, you guys say Europeans are all bad, and then we get all mad, and then people get mad, and they call you savages. You say we're the worst people in the world. The reality is, every culture commits atrocities. The Aztecs, and I did research this, did commit atrocities against others. And Europeans committed atrocities against each other, and the Chinese and the Japanese, every culture. That doesn't matter, though. What matters is how we progress into the future, right? And there is a group of Chicano people that do want to take this back for themselves, and they're having that claim, and they seem to want a certain area of land, and there's black people that want the same thing, and we should be able to sit down at this table and say, well, clearly integration doesn't work if you include people that don't want to be integrated.
Integration could work, but if you're
No. Let me clarify my point. Integration can't work.
Listen. If you tell the truth, if you lie and make up lies, it doesn't work.
Let me tell you how integration can work. Integration can work if the people that live in the integrated society choose to be integrated. Here's the problem. Like that black guy that shot up the white church, and like Dylan Roof, these are people that would have chosen to live in an ethno state and perhaps could have lived out productive lives. But because some people have a strong natural in-group tendency, if you force them to integrate, it will create lots of problems and culture clashes. So I agree, there could be a large integrated state, but it would have to depend on the people that live in it choosing to be integrated. And this is my idea. This is all I want. I want a homeland for every race that wants one. And then the people that want to be integrated should get that too.
How
is that evil?
Here's the thing. The easiest thing for all the people that want a Western, all white civilization. It's so easy. Like all you gotta do is like go to like Finland. Finland's like almost like 95% white.
Yeah,
Go
but
to
I'm Iberian. I'm not Finnish.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I would go back to
Go
Spain.
to Portugal. You can go to Portugal. Portugal is mostly white. Like if you are so threatened about losing your cultural identity, all you gotta do is go back to Europe and reinforce it there. It's like
I mean, that might be a solution. That might be a solution. Setting up ethno states in Europe. I'm not saying that that's not a solution.
If I'm talking about the white supremacists, if they feel like they're losing their culture, all they gotta do is go back to Europe and reinforce it there. And you know what, the Arabs are gonna keep on going to Europe as long as you keep on invading and doing wars against them. Because when there's poverty and there's war, people looking for a better place.
Sure.
Same thing with the Polish guy. That's probably why he's here.
Hey, go bother Omar. Hey, you know Omar? You know what he did? We have actually
Where's he
tech.
at?
He's right there.